Day number 2 of Chicago Bears training camp is in the books. I was there. It was super hot outside, but let's talk about what happened at practice today. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears training camp update video, which I'll be doing every single day of Chicago Bears training camps with guys on my thoughts, my views, my reaction, what happened at camp every single day. Definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel. Today was a hot day. It was like 92, I think 93 on the heat index, so definitely not fun to be outside, but I still had fun, going to practice, seeing what happened there. And it kind of sucked though because they didn't actually practice on the fans side of the field today, which they usually do. So if you guys have been there to practice, there's two different fields, one by the media, one by the fans. But today, almost all of the drills were on the media's side of the field. So I didn't really get the best view, could not get the best pictures and videos, but I still could see what was happening on the other side. It just was kind of, far away. But let's talk about practice, okay? And before I begin, I do want to say I also met George McCaskey, the owner of the Bears, on the way walking inside, okay? I got there super early. I was one of the first people probably inside at training camp, and I saw George walking by, and I was like, why not ask him for a picture, okay? I was like, I'm probably not going to get this opportunity ever again, so I just say, like, hey, George, can I get a picture? And he says yes. He's super cool. We talked for a little bit, not too long, obviously, but honestly, I have to say, George McCaskey is the most down-to-earth billionaire I have ever seen in my life, okay? You can say anything about his abilities as the owner, which obviously have not been that good because the Bears have sucked under his watch, but as a human being, as a person, I gotta say, that dude is a chill guy, okay? I've not seen owners of other teams go into their training camp, taking pictures with their fans, talking with their fans, so I thought it was really cool that George McCaskey did that, and it was pretty dope, okay? I never thought I'd actually be talking with the owner of the Chicago Bears ever in my life, so really cool moment for me. But talking about what actually happened in practice today, again, you guys have to remember, I was super far away, but I still did see most of what happened. So if I have a few things left out, apologies for that, but I'll just give you guys, the majority of what I saw. But let's talk about Tyler Scott first of all, okay? Because Tyler Scott, man, he had himself a day cooking the backup DBs of the Chicago Bears. He also played on first team for a little bit, not too many snaps. I think he did have a few snaps with Justin Fields, if I recall, but for the majority of the time, he was actually going up against the backups because he is receiver, number 4. So, obviously he's not going to be on the field with the first team just yet. But because Mooney was injured, Mooney wasn't in on every single snap. I think Tyler Scott did get a few snaps also against first team. And man, he cooked everybody he went up against. The one-on-ones going up against Michael Ojemudia, our cornerback number 6, 7, or maybe even 8. He's obviously not a good cornerback, but he's still a pretty fast cornerback. I think according to his RAS, he is pretty fast athletically, pretty gifted athletically, but Tyler Scott burnt the hell out of him, okay? Going straight down the field. I think it was just a go route down the field. Tyler Scott got behind him, and there was like 4 or 5 yards of separation between the two, okay? It was, really easy for the quarterback to throw the ball to him because he was that wide open. And Tyler Scott does have that agility, that burning ability, that top end speed that few receivers in this league have. I mean, he does have that game breaking type of speed. So adding him to this offense when he's only receiver number 4, keep in mind, like, he doesn't even have to contribute in year 1, but if injuries happen to a guy like Mooney or somebody else, we have a guy now in Tyler Scott that can step up and take over that role and hopefully be pretty good at what he does. He also had another catch of 25 yards going up against, I think it was Jalen Jones on that play covering him. Whoever it was mostly backups he was going up against, obviously. So maybe not that impressive that he cooked backups, but that's what he should be doing. If he is that good, if he's good enough to be a starter, you should be absolutely destroying the backups, which is what Tyler Scott did today. So really impressive day out of the rookie Tyler Scott. Like, I knew he was fast, but seeing the speed in real life is a totally different thing, okay? He flies down the field. So really good day out of Tyler Scott, the rookie. Talking about the next story of the day, I do want to talk about the Bears defense now, because the Bears defense had a much better day today than they had yesterday, according to the reports yesterday, okay? So according to the reports yesterday, the offense completely cooked the defense, and you could definitively hand the day to the offense, but today it was kind of more 50-50. Like, the offense had their plays that they won, but the defense also had many plays that they won, and it could have been an even better day if the defense came away with the interceptions that they should have had, but they dropped so many picks, okay? Eddie Jackson dropped a pick. Some of the other cornerbacks, I think Tyreek Stevenson might have dropped one. Other guys like backups dropped a lot of picks. So there was a lot of, getting their hands up and getting their hands on the ball. So a lot of pass breakups by a lot of different cornerbacks. So pretty good coverage by a lot of guys, but they just were not able to get their hands on the ball and make it go the other way, which I know is going to drive a coach like Eberflus absolutely crazy because he teaches the hits principles, and the T in hits stands for turnover. So the fact that we couldn't get turnovers today definitely is going to make Eberflus pretty mad, but the fact that we were playing tight physical coverage and being pretty disciplined out there on defense, I think that is going to make Eberflus pretty happy. So it was kind of a 50-50 type of day from the Bears defense, but definitely a lot better than they played yesterday. I do want to talk about some standouts, like Jaquan Brisker was a standout today on defense. He had a few PBUs and playing pretty good coverage. He also had a play where he was about to absolutely knock the shit out of, I couldn't even see who it was, but he was about to, slam into somebody. He had to stop because obviously in practice you can't actually hit your own teammates that hard, but it kind of shows you that Jaquan Brisker is that type of player, okay? He's an enforcer that wants to absolutely, beat the crap out of anybody that's in his way, and that's going to be on display on the football field when the games actually start. So Jaquan Brisker was pretty good. Tariq Stevenson, I thought, was pretty decent aside from a few lapses in coverage. Like, he had a few PBUs, got his hands up, going up against pretty good receivers. Like, he was actually going up against guys like DJ Moore, guys like Chase Claypool, so pretty big responsibility for him, but he played pretty decently. And aside from that, like, Kyler Gordon had a few nice tackles. He blew up I think it was like a screen pass going to, one of the running backs. So that was a pretty good play by him. Eddie Jackson almost had a pick six, but he couldn't hang on to the football. Maybe he's rusty returning the football, but we all know that Eddie Jackson is a guy that can get those pick sixes, obviously. So, a lot of good plays by our DBs, and that's encouraging, right? Because our DBs have been the position that we've invested the most resources into so far from the NFL draft. Okay, we've invested multiple second round picks, a fifth round pick as well, and it's good to see that it's actually paying off, and these guys are getting their hands up and getting their hands on the ball. But next time they have to turn those into actual turnovers. But getting to the next story of the day, I do want to talk about DJ Moore and Justin Fields again, because I feel like I talk about them every day, but I got to keep talking about them because they keep on connecting every single day of practice. Today in practice, I saw multiple plays, at least 2 or 3. It could have been even more. I was sitting so far away, so I probably missed a few, but these guys have been on the same page every single day of practice. I mean, DJ Moore and Justin Fields, their chemistry is just it's been so instant that you would think these guys have known each other for years and years, but that's not the case, okay? They've only known each other for like 5 months, but every single play, DJ Moore is in the exact position where Justin Fields wants him to be, and DJ Moore, makes a play on the ball and makes that catch for his quarterback. Today, going up against Tariq Stevenson. Down the right sideline, he had like a 30-40 yard touchdown against a rookie, and Justin Fields delivered a great ball also to DJ Moore. So great play by both the quarterback and the receiver, but especially the receiver, getting that open for his quarterback, that's a great thing because we haven't had guys that can get that wide open for a quarterback in the past 2 years. He also had a few intermediate connections with Justin Fields, the 15-20 yard range in the middle of the field, where Justin Fields has sometimes struggled attacking that portion of the field because sometimes we just have not had the guys that can get open there, and Fields has not trusted the guys in the middle of the field. But today, DJ Moore got open multiple times in the middle of the field, and Fields noticed him open and delivered the ball to him with great anticipation, which I love to see that because that's one area of his game where he absolutely had to grow on. Okay, you can't make your living in the NFL as a quarterback by only hitting bombs 30-40 yards down the field. We already know how good he is as a deep passer, but he had to grow in intermediate passing, 15 to 20 yards, and also short passing too, below 10 yards, 1 to 10 yards, because the dump offs, the slants, like stuff like that, you have to be able to hit those if you want to be a franchise quarterback for any team. And I think that Justin Fields is growing there because now he does have a weapon in DJ Moore that he actually can trust in those areas of the field. So great practice by DJ Moore. Also a pretty decent practice by Chase Claypool. He did have one drop and a bobble too, but on that bobble he actually did end up still catching the ball. And after that drop, he actually did make a pretty fantastic acrobatic leaping catch against whatever DB he was going up against. I think it was one of the backups, so not like a good DB that we have, but still, he had to extend for that ball, kind of dive for it, and he made that catch using his tall physical frame, which you love to see. I mean, he has to do that for the Bears on a consistent basis for us to feel good about the trade that we made for him last season, which it's still gonna be tough to live up to pick number 32 because that was basically like a first round pick, a late first round pick that we traded for him, but we got to get over what we actually gave up for him and just be happy that we have another weapon for a quarterback, and hopefully he can reach the heights that he reached back in 2020 or 2021 during the first few years of his Steelers career. So, pretty decent day by the offense. Not a great day, I'd say. Like, some of the 7-on-7 plays obviously resulted in plays that should have been turnovers. Like Justin Fields threw almost like 2 picks, and the other quarterbacks also threw what should have been picks, but the DBs just dropped them. So we have to be a little bit better there in terms of being cleaner with the football, being more secure with the football. But they also beat the defense multiple times, so it wasn't a bad day for the offense either. But going to the next story of the day, I do want to talk about Jack Sanborn, our linebacker, returning from injury, because during the interception drills that they have before the team portion of practice, where they just throw the ball to all the linebackers, and they have to try to catch the ball, make the interception. I shit you not, Jack Sanborn did not drop a single one. He caught every single interception. The other linebackers like Tremaine Edmonds had a few drops, TJ Edwards had a few drops, Dylan Cole, all the other guys had at least 1 or 2 drops, but Jack Sanborn, man, his hands were sticky. He caught every single ball, and I know it's only like a drill, so it wasn't even like live team action, team drills. It was only like a one-on-one type of thing, but still, the fact that he was catching every single ball, every single interception, that's pretty impressive, and I just had to mention that because I thought it was pretty cool. Hopefully Jack Sanborn does return into being what he was in his short time with the Bears last year. He didn't start that many games because he was playing behind, Roquan Smith and some of the other guys that we had, but eventually he found his way into the starting lineup, and he had a stretch of like 4 or 5 games where he actually was a really good linebacker, like legit playing good for the Bears during that stretch. So with the addition of Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, having Noah Sewell there as well, like we have one of the best linebacking cores now in the entire NFL, and it's cool to see the monsters of the midway back in the middle of this 4-3 scheme. So that was pretty cool. And then finally going to the last story of the day, I do want to talk about Charles Tillman actually showing up to practice and helping coach some of the DBs. So I'll put the picture on the screen right now, but you guys can see Charles Tillman, the peanut puncher himself, returned to practice today and actually did speak some words to Jalen Johnson, some of the other guys too. And I think it's super cool that our head coach has invited our former Bears greats to be a part of the franchise still and to have their input still be valued. Like, I feel like a lot of the coaches in the past have not embraced that tradition as much as a coach like Eberflus has, but I really do enjoy, seeing familiar faces like Charles Tillman because they do have a lot of knowledge to offer to our young guys. Like, this guy invented the peanut punch, okay, forcing fumbles as a cornerback, and it's going to be, cool if he can teach that to guys like Kyler Gordon, like Jalen Johnson, who, with the hits principle, that could be a determining factor in turning around the Chicago Bears defense into being much better than it was last season. But that's basically it for the video, guys. I'll be back with another video tomorrow covering training camp practice tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Leave your comments down below. As always, bear down.